please pray when you pray, and pray for the Southern Yellow Pine Mills and the lumber market. But my background is been across here all my life. My father started Swanee Lumber Company. That's the other sawmill other in the town. I've been in the business something like 41 years. He said, well, you don't look that old, you look too old. But I started at 14 years old working in a sawmill. So I've seen it all. I've been through ups and downs of sawmilling, but just to tell you, I hit on some good points there, what we do here. You know, we come in here, we restarted the mill up. I think I was retired for 30 days. The time I left the mill down there, we come down here, started this one up, and we've been very successful doing that. But right now, we produce 100 million foot of Southern Yellow Pine. We're the most southern yellow pine in Florida. We want to produce up to 150 million foot. So we're looking for growth every day, we're looking for opportunity. Like Mike said, we got 150 employees. We create about $10 million in payroll in DC County with the benefits and everything else going with it. So we really love DC County, and we want to be able to stay here and continue producing. But like Mike said, we run 2-shift operation. We run 80 to 90 hours, 2 shifts. But the mill actually run 3 shifts, like Mike said. We run the maintenance shift on the rest, and the dry kill stays running 24/7. Andy right here, Andy Chester, he brings us about 300 to 350 loads of logs a week. That's what we take. If you know the log truck, they look like there's 350 comes across the scale every week. We can discuss that topic a little bit more about the availability of Southern Yellow Pine and what happened when Buckeye shut down and the problem it caused. But we produce mostly for the treated lumber market, and we do for a lot of housing markets. So that's where we produce our lumber. We produce 1x4s, 2x4s, 2x6s, and 4x4s. And thank Mike the other day, he came up with an idea. He said, we got to expand our SKUs and our markets. And he said, let's make a 4x6. I said, hey, let's do it. And Wes and our guys got busy, and we started producing 4x6s. So it's a new product that we got. We're trying to open that up to our customers. But it's been a very, very challenging market for us. The market, as y'all know, has been depressed. I've been in this business a long time. I have never seen the lumber market being so terrible. So we here, you know, anything we can get help from any government, local government helps us all the time. We need support from anybody we can. You know, we've been fighting this thing. Our sales average has been below manufacturing costs for about 2 years now. There have been some good months, but mostly bad months. But you know, just like I said, this has been a tough business. You know, the way we got here, one of the things that drove our timber cost up, as y'all know, Buckeye shut down in Perry. Right during the COVID days, Buckeye was getting short on logs, they were short on truck drivers, they were short on loggers. They drove the cost of the chipping saw up to about $70 a ton. They would take woods run, they would take everything. They would take pulpwood, they would take chipping saw, they would take saw logs, and we was having such a good market in COVID days. We said, well, we don't want to shut down, we got a good market, so how do we compete with that? So we had to pay $70 a ton for wood. So when wood went up, escalated up, Buckeye shut down, left us hanging with high lumber prices or timber prices, and we could not, I mean, we had to keep pushing it down, push it down. So it's been very challenging for the landowners that did a lot of acquisitions during that time to push that lumber cost or log cost down. But we have been managing that as we go, and we're getting the lumber cost down, the timber cost down, and it's been very challenging for that. But what we see now in the industry is our residuals, our chips. Since Buckeye shut down, our chips have got to travel 40 miles, now 120 miles it's got to travel. And that cuts, you know, our revenue down a lot. What's happening there is the pulp mills are getting more chips than they shut down. The pulp mills are still open, and they get more chips than they need. So you know what that does to the price of chips. They keep depressing the chips. So me and Mark Hatch are talking about what's the opportunity in Dixie County to do with our residuals. So you know, we come up and say, you know, you got the biochar. Everybody heard of the circularity. Damien, they bought the site, and the county helped them acquire the site behind us. If that come to life, that's going to be very helpful for us, because we have an outlet for our chips. If it don't, we got to figure out other avenues to figure out where we're going to go with our chips. The avenues, you know, people are going to pellets, going to chips, going to pellet mills. Pellet mills right now, every sawmill is in the same situation, is building pellet mills. We have looked at pellet mills, we have done pellet mill studies. Way back in my Swanee days when pellets got very popular, I started doing a study. We never did because it was so, the marketability of pellets was not there as strong as it is now. But right now the marketability of pellets is getting oversupplied. Europe's getting oversupplied with pellets. The price of pellets are pushing down, and we don't think pellets is going to be a future for a long term for our residuals that we are treating more and more each year. So we've been talking about different cogeneration, and Martin mentioned something about some of that, but we got to come up with an idea of how we can do something with our residuals. And that's where y'all can come in and help us. Talk about cogeneration. We don't know a lot about it, but you know, you create energy for your own plant, you create energy, you sell back to the grids, you do whatever you can to make this thing work. So saying all that, Mark, you had some questions or something you want to say on cogeneration?
I would say this, cogeneration, I believe, is going to kind of, we got to look at the future and stability in the future. And it's not a new thing. I mean, it's been going on in other countries, and probably in the state of Florida, there's not a whole lot of cogen going on. But I think it's something we really need to look at for sustainable future in this industry. What Daniel and Mike has just mentioned is that's not a lot. I was here when this mill shut down, and I was also here when we was able to be a part of starting it back up. And it's, we look at 100 jobs, and you look at the indirect jobs, you can triple that number of what this mill means to our county and to our other indirect jobs and our loggers and so forth, our towns, our restaurants, our gas stations. It's just a backbone. This mill, Swanee Lumber, or I always call it Swanee Lumber. It's called Dumb.
So do we, Mark.
Dumb Tar now, and Mr. Chad down there, Mr. Chad's a great man. I've met him multiple times, and he's a great fellow. We've got to do something for our future, and I really, Miss Diane, we talked briefly on it, and Daniel and I talked on it a little bit, and Mike, and we're just going to learn about cogen. And Mr. Alex, that's right, get your necks, get it loosened up, and we're just going to go to you with cogen, and we're going to need some assistance with this stuff. And I think, honestly, you talk about stability in our market. Pellets, I don't feel like pellets is the way to go. I truly don't.